Hi everyone, this is Anchor Point, the podcast from Freedom's Advocate. I'm Randy Crossan. Thanks for joining me. I've been in a lot of meetings where the default answer to government overreach is activism. Organize, rally, speak louder, push harder. Civic engagement absolutely has its place. But when we're talking about specific overreach, reactions on religious texts, limits on peaceful assembly, compelled speech, interference with parental rights, unequal treatment under the law, we have to ask a harder question. What actually stops it? In Canada, structurally, the answer is the courts. Our system is built on constitutional limits. Federal and provincial governments do not have ultimate power. The Constitution, including the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, sets boundaries around state authority. When government crosses those lines, citizens and organizations can bring a constitutional challenge. Courts can review the law, and if it violates protected freedoms, it can be struck down or narrowed. That's not theoretical. That's how the system is designed to work. But we also have to be honest about recent experience. During COVID, many Canadians felt like their charter rights offered little immediate protection. Governments restricted gatherings, even inside private homes. Churches were closed, businesses were shuttered. Families were told who they could and could not see at Christmas. In many cases, courts showed significant deference to governments operating under emergency powers. Challenges moved slowly, relief was limited. For a lot of people, it felt like rights were sidelined while executive authority expanded. That frustration is real, and it reveals something important. Constitutional rights don't enforce themselves. We, the people, have to stand up for them in the courts, the only place our system provides. It then depends on how they are argued, how they are interpreted, and how willing courts are to scrutinize government claims, especially in times of crisis. When judges defer broadly to the state, freedoms can narrow, sometimes gradually, sometimes quickly. Canadians are seeing that tension. There's a growing concern that freedom is not expanding, but contracting, incrementally, case by case, policy by policy. So where does that leave us? It doesn't mean that the Charter is meaningless. It means that the work of defending it is harder, probably more than most assumed. It means litigation must be strategic, persistent, and prepared for long timelines. It means building strong cases that force careful constitutional analysis rather than emotional reaction. Activism can raise awareness. It can mobilize communities. It can influence elections. But protests and petitions ask government to reconsider. The constitutional challenge requires government to justify itself under the law. That distinction matters. If we want clear limits on state power, not just public debate about it, the courtroom remains the arena where those limits are defined. Even when courts disappoint, there is still the mechanism our system provides for setting legal boundaries. The lesson of the past several years isn't that the law doesn't matter. It's that law requires vigilance. Rights require deference, and constitutional structure only holds if citizens are willing to use it. In Canada, government is not supposed to be supreme. The Constitution is. And if we're serious about stopping government overreach, not just reacting to it, we need to think long-term, legally and strategically about how power is actually restrained in this country. Thanks for being with me. I'm Randy Crossan, and this is Anchor Point. We'll see you next time.